Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about what I was talking about yesterday, abundance versus scarcity mindset. So we've got two different types of mindsets. One is scarcity. Scarcity is the belief that there isn't enough out there, that God hasn't created enough, that there's only a limited supply of resources, whether it be money or land or whatever it may be that is your desire. And abundance is the belief that there's more than enough. Whatever I want will come to me if I'm willing to go out there and put in the time, the effort, and the energy. Then I know that there's more than enough, that there's more today than there was yesterday. So what I'm going to talk today about is I'm going to talk to you guys about cutting back versus getting more. Let's say getting more, making more. Making more. Okay, so along the same lines as yesterday's, what I see a lot is when someone loses a job or something happens and a little bit of the money, it crunches up, what people start doing is they start focusing on cutting back. What can I do to scrimp and save so that I can cut my expenses down so that the little money that I do have, it goes further. And that goes back to scarcity thinking, is by cutting back. I'm not saying that you shouldn't always be paying attention to your expenses. And if you can cut something out because it doesn't make sense to the budget anymore, that's fine. But what I'm saying is cutting back in areas that you just shouldn't cut back on versus focusing on making more money. Okay, these are different focuses. One is how can I cut back on the things that I'm already doing versus making more, focusing on how can I make more money. This is sacrificing lifestyle and this is creative thinking so that you can continue maintaining that lifestyle that you're used to. So for me is if you're going to be sacrificing lifestyle, if you become conservative and you continue to build this mindset around scarcity and cutting back, is you'll start cutting everything back in your life. You won't just be going through your grocery list and seeing if you guys can cut bananas out this week, or if you can, instead of buying the organic lettuce, you're buying the conventional lettuce. It's when you start cutting back, when you start getting overly conservative, you start cutting back on the amount of time, effort, and energy you're actually putting in to making more. Okay? Whereas if something happens, let's say you got two incomes in the family, one of the incomes gets cut by a quarter or gets cut all the way, rather than sitting down with your spouse or with your family and say, okay guys, we just lost half of our income, we need to start really cutting back on our expenses. Okay? You can definitely look at expenses. One of my business partners, he was just going through his phone bill and he noticed that, man, he pays for 30 gigs of data a month, which is like $60, but never in the past 6 months have they gone over 10 gigs. So the 10 gigs was like $20 a month versus $60 a month. If you're not using it, then you're wasting the money. That's when it's smart to cut back or to adjust your expenses based on usage, versus just cutting things away to try to save money. If something happens, you want to pull the family together. I look at a family like a team. We're one team, we're one unit, and here are the family's goals and objectives. I bring the whole entire family together and I say, okay guys, here's where we're at. Mom lost her job. Okay? We need to focus on making more money. We need to make up that income. Okay, so we need to hustle and we need to grind in order to maintain our lifestyle. What that's going to do is that's going to get you creatively thinking about ways to make more money. And in today's day and age, going back to yesterday's video, there are more opportunities for people to go out and become independent and make tons and tons of money than there's ever been before. there's more opportunities for you to go out and get rich today than there was yesterday. So if mom loses her job, you got to say, okay, here's a new challenge that's being brought to our attention. The challenge is, how can we go from where we are right now to the next level? So then you start creatively thinking about ideas, because having this mindset versus this mindset, you're going to creatively start thinking, both you're going to creatively think. But for me, this way of thinking on this road, what you're actually doing is you're training your mind to be overly conservative, to scrimp and save rather than being industrious and ambitious and going out there and making things happen. So, big key. So take a look at your life, go back in time and think about times in your life where maybe you were on a high, things were going really well in your life, all the bills were covered, you were having a heyday, but you were at that point. I know it's happened for me where I'm making tons and tons of money, making really good money, and I feel like the wave is never going to end. I feel like the wave is never going to end, so I'm resting on my laurels. I'm not saving and investing as much as I thought. At some points, I wasn't saving and investing any. And then when the wave crashed, I crashed along with it. And if you know anything about waves, or if you've ever been caught up in a wave, when you get caught up and it's throwing you around, it really sucks. But if you go then and talk to a professional, someone who, let's say, is focused on making more versus just getting tossed around in the ocean, the expert has been through those crashes, they've learned some lessons in those crashes, and when it crashes, they know how to get out unscathed. So this right here makes you think, this makes you think as well, but this is going to start programming your mind to think in terms of scrimping and saving and becoming overly conservative, whereas this area right here gets you out of your comfort zone. It helps you grow and expand in much bigger ways than this one. So, two different ways of thinking, just like yesterday's. If we think about just logically, okay, there's more today than there was yesterday, and there will be more tomorrow than there is today. And if we're constantly focused, if our focus is constantly on how can I make more, what can I do today to be better than I was yesterday so that I can get to my goals faster, versus, man, how can I scrimp and save and be conservative and hold on to what I have now and continue and hopefully not have to lower my lifestyle. Whereas this one, if you creatively think and you come up with, let's say, a list of 100 ways, one of those ways could take your life to an atmosphere, a huge level, versus this one, you're gonna look for ways to take your life down a level so that you can save that comfort, and that's always a bad thing. So look at your life, look at some experiences you've had where you have had something happen and you lowered down a level, you scrimped and saved. And then look at some experiences that you've had in your life where something happened and you creatively not only maintained, but you took it to the next level. That's a huge key when it comes to creating total financial freedom, is constantly focusing on an abundance mindset and an opportunity mindset. What can I do to maintain my lifestyle and even take it to the next level? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take a look at your life. Look at some experiences that you've had where you fought and you've creatively taken it to the next level, and what experiences have you had where you actually backed down a level to try to stay comfortable. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone. If you want to take your life to the next level, if you want to live the life that very few people live, you got to get out of that comfort zone. You got to change the way you think. It all starts with thinking. Everything in our world, everything that man has ever created has always started in the mind. So if we change the way we think, we'll change the way we act. And if we change the way we act, we will change our results in life. So I appreciate you watching my videos. If there's ever anything I can do, just reach out. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great night.